buttons, please.
All four. Yeah.
I think all four, yeah.
Yeah, there we are. All done. Hello and welcome back to Osijek for another final in the European Championships over 10 metres. We're live for you with this live stream on YouTube and on Facebook. Thank you very much for joining us. If you'd like to follow us on social media, on Instagram, it's ESC Shooting, and on Facebook, it's European Shooting Confederation. Just search for that and it'll soon pop up and you'll find it there. My name is Rory McAllister. I'll be your commentator for this 10-metre air pistol men's final. There's our schedule for the day. So local time, 1:30 for the air pistol men. That's in 10 minutes from now. That's the actual start of the final. And then 3:15 later this afternoon, the air rifle mixed teams. That's how it's looking for day one of the senior finals at the European Shooting Championships. My name is Rory McAllister. Get those thumbs ready with the likes on either Facebook or YouTube. It doesn't really matter which stream you're watching us on. Just thanks very much for coming along. Do join in on the live chat as well for YouTube and we'll get through as many comments as we can. But thanks for coming. The distance is 10 metres. 24 shots, unless of course we have shoot-offs, in which case there'll be additional shots for that. 11.5 millimetres is the bullseye. Never really gets any bigger, but still these athletes that are going to contest this 10-metre air rifle final, air pistol final, know exactly how to try and get in the inner 10 ring. There's our QR codes just to make life easy for you, so you can use your smartphone or tablet and just open up the camera, hover it over the QR code. There'll be a yellow link that will appear. Tap that and then tap away. And before you know it, you're connected and it's all done for you. See, we like to be helpful. So the range is ready, says our Chief Range Officer. That's Pleta Pavcic of Croatia. And here come the coaches. Well, we've had a great time in Osijek so far. Been here for just over a week now with the junior competitions last week and now into the seniors. This is day one and it will run through to this coming Wednesday for day 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, the organizing Committee of the European Shooting Championship 2025 and European Shooting Confederation welcome you one more time to Sports Hall Gradski Vrt. And the final competition for the 10-meter air pistol main event will now begin. And now please welcome our athletes. On firing point H, representing Austria,
well, one thing I can tell you about this final is that age has no barrier. 49-year-old Richard Zeichmeister is first to arrive on firing point H, representing Austria. Franz Roth will be his coach. Now, Richard has many medals across the years. We'll go through some of those in just a second. Now, Richard is the second eldest in this final, and that's at 49 years old. So I'll leave you to guess unless you've seen the lineup already. Here comes Federico Nilo Maldini, the silver medalist at the Paris Olympic Games in 10 metres. I was commentator for that one. You may have seen it on Eurosport or NBC Peacock out in the States, or perhaps even the BBC back in the UK. Host broadcaster to so many channels around the world. It was a real honour and privilege, and that was a great 10-metre air pistol men's final at the Paris Olympics in Châteauroux. Here's Jason Solari, again another athlete who's achieved so much and still only 25 years old. And a confident wink to the camera representing Switzerland. And here comes Ole Harald Aarst of Norway, 31, and he'll take his place on firing point E. So next to appear on firing point D, 40-year-old Juraj Tojinski, representing Slovakia. And looks quite relaxed. Always a good place to be when you come out to a final such as this. Well, what a name in the world of pistol shooting, and what a welcome for João Costa of Portugal, 60 years old. He actually retired from shooting and has come along and has now made this final. And what a very nice man he is. We had a good chat. João and I have known each other for many years. He's represented his country at 5 Olympic Games, starting way back in Sydney. Also Athens, Beijing, London and Rio. Now here's 24-year-old Pavel Šešbal, representing Czechia. His coach today is Martin Tenk, who also was a medalist at the Sydney Olympics and took a bronze. And last, but of course not least, the second 40-year-old in this final, Damir Mikec. Not only a Tokyo Olympic Games silver medalist in the 10 metres, but then there was that dramatic final in the mixed team, Serbia versus Turkey, which was such an emotional ending for Damir and Zorana Runovic. Just bought a new motorhome as Damir, if you see his Instagram. There's been a couple of videos about it. It's absolutely lovely motorhome. I said to him, can I borrow it? He said, where do you want to take it? I said, Hong Kong. He just laughed. I was just trying to think of one of the furthest places I could drive from Belgrade. So the jury have been introduced. Here's Mr. Petar Plavčić, back once again like a renegade master with the microphone. Come on, Petar, give us a song. No, he's just doing the commands. So if you have just joined us, welcome along. If you're on YouTube, then hello to you. If you're on Facebook, then hello to you as well. Thanks for joining in with the live chat. We'll come through to some of the comments in just a second. First of all, let's have a look back at qualification earlier today. Well, that just gives you an idea of what the qualification hall looks like compared to the finals hall here. A much different atmosphere. It's a real arena here. And the team have done so well just making this finals hall look so resplendent. So that's how it finished in qualification earlier. And there's been some questions asking, did Yusuf Dikets of Turkey make the final? He was 16th in qualification earlier today. So that qualification scores, this is how then they line up from firing point A right through to H. Two 40-year-olds in this final. That's Damir Mikets and Juraj Toshinki. Richard Zijkmeister is 49 years old. And then João Costa of Portugal is 60. And that is the beauty of shooting. Age is no barrier.
Who in the audience is from these countries? So let's see. Team Serbia, where are you in the audience? Let me hear you.
So thanks for joining in on the live chat. Thanks to Catherine Riley. Also Aideen as well, here to support Turkey. Michael Ray is also here. Ernesto. King Costa, he says. Yeah, you're not wrong. To retire and come back, what an achievement. Thank you to Amelia as well. And many others. Let's have a closer look then at the athletes. Here's Damir Mikets, 40 years old. A few years ago at the Tallinn European Championships, I called him the veteran. He came up to me and said, Rory, what's all this business about me being a veteran? I said, well, you've been around for so long, Damir, and achieved so much. He let me off. It's all good. We're friends. His elder brother, Goran Mikets, is the coach. And here is the 60-year-old. He certainly doesn't act like it. He's still a very chilled out man, but we'll come to João in just a second. First of all, Pavel Šebal of Czechia. There's those two silver medals at the ISSF Grand Prix. That was in the mixed team and in the individual, both this year, 2025 and 2022. There's Martin Tenk, an Olympic bronze medalist in his own right. So João Costa of Portugal, just look at the amount of medals. There's those 3 European Championship golds. They're across 50 metres and 25. Real pistol specialist, this man, because to be good at all three of them, 50, 25 and 10, is a real achievement, particularly now at 60 years old. And Pedro Fonseca is his coach. So Juraj Toshinki, 40 years old, 3 gold medals over 10 metres. They're at world level. And also those European Championship 10-metre medals. And Miroslav Marko is the coach.
But what there is music and audience. So audience.
On firing point E, representing Norway, 31-year-old Ole Harald Ors and Matthias Hahn. Sitting in the background is the coach. There he is. And Ole Harald was 7th in the European Championships in Tallinn a few years ago. That was in the team men. Also has a bronze medal at the European Games over 25 metres in the mixed team. Here's Jason Solari. Again, still very young, 25, has achieved so much. Bronze medalist at the Youth Olympic Games in 2018 over 10 metres, and a bronze medalist in the mixed team at the European Championships 5 years ago. And first of all, Maro Biasca is now on screen. He's Jason Solari's coach. Here's the Paris Olympic silver medalist over 10 metres. There's those 2 World Cup golds, European Championship golds, and then that Olympic qualifying championship that we wedged in last year before the Olympic Games. Again, I was commentator that day when Federico Maldini took the gold that day. And Mauro Barareci is the coach. And here's Richard Zijkmeister, who is 49 years old. Again, the only reason why I say that is there's not many sports where you can just keep going and keep competing at this sort of level. And there's Franz Roth, who's saying, call me. I don't have your number, Franz. Let me know what your number is and I'll drop you a WhatsApp. So 5 seconds to go. Here's the world rankings. So 2 of the world's top 10 in this one. So if you have just joined us, welcome along. This is the 10-metre air pistol men's final at the European Championships in Osijek in Croatia, over 10 metres. Thank you for joining us on Facebook. Thank you for joining us on the video stream on YouTube. So first series of 5 shots. And most of these athletes will be looking to get over a total of 50 if they can possibly manage it. A 10.9 from Urs of Norway, the highest individual shot achievable. We had one in the women's final earlier. Always good to see one, particularly in pistol finals. And bear in mind, bullseye is 11.5 millimetres wide. So 2 other athletes now completed that first series of 5. Jan Costa being one of them, a total of 49.1. Meanwhile, Maldini so far is over that 50 marker, as is Jason Solari. So it's just Damir Mikets left now. You see the moulded grip with all of those stickers on the handle. Now you can't have too many of the stickers because there's a width restriction. Sometimes the stickers can just make things too wide. So Chief Range Officer has called stop. Let's see who's top of the table after that first series of 5 shots. This 10-metre air pistol men's final is up and running. 3 athletes over the 50 marker. Solari in third, 0.5 behind Maldini. And a 1.1 gap already at the top, 51.9. That's a terrific total from Tuzinski of Slovakia. Very impressive indeed. So we now have another series of 5 shots, and then we'll move to individual shots. The first elimination coming up after shot 12.
For the next competition series, load.
So you can only load after the load command is given. There are penalties for early loading. Really tend to see it though at this kind of level because all of these men are so experienced. .6 from João Costa. Still doing it at this level. So Damir Mikets just having a word with himself, that 9.2. Just see how low he was to the centre of the target. So the line was certainly right. It was just the height. Meanwhile, Zickmeister with a 10.6. Another 10.6 from Šešpal of Slovakia, of Czechia. Thanks very much to those of you on the YouTube live chat. Thanks to Addy's watching from the United States. We've also got Marija is watching from Bahrain. Wow, wonderful place. Thanks to Shahina, thanks to Denise, Mugli, Aidan, Amelia, Michael also watching from the States. So many of you joining in on the live chat. So much support as well. It's great to see you all celebrating the love of shooting. And some great emojis as well with the country's flag who you're cheering on. Just seen some of the Norwegian team here, some of the rifle shooters. I know Henrik Larsson's here, and that was Jeanette Gistad we just saw on the screen. All here to support Ole Harald Ors of Norway. Georgia, well, they had a cracking time last week in the juniors. A really very, very impressive visit. I was going to say, how long is it going to take for her to realise she's on camera? It's okay, twiddle your hair, no problem. So 3 athletes left. Will Damir Mikets again be the last to finish in this second series of 5 shots? Wonderful 10.8 from Tuzinski of Slovakia, who was leading this competition after that first series of 5. And another cracking shot, 10.3. And Ors has a chance to get over 100, but with that last shot, just 99.4. Right, so let's see where we are. Now after 10 shots, 2 series of 5. That's how it looked earlier on, after 5 shots, and here's how it looks after 10. And he's still at the top. Tuzinski of Slovakia on 103. That first series was 51.9. That second series, therefore, 51.1. That is world-class shooting, particularly in pistol. And the rest of the field at the moment, unusual to see Damir Mikets in 8th place. He's 1.4 behind And that's João Costa of Portugal in 7th. And there's a tie for 5th between Zeitmeister and Solari.
For the next competition shot, load.
So we're now into single shots. Our first elimination will come up after shot 12. Well, Tuszynski really is on form today, a 10.6. There's an opening shot in the first of the single shot stages, just keeping that consistency that he brought from the 2 series of 5. Mikets, meanwhile, in 8th place with that 10.1. He's 0.5 behind, so it's possible. Costa, meanwhile, in 7th place, has a gap of 2.0. He's behind Ors of Norway. Gap at the top of 2.9 already. How is that possible after 11 shots? Against Maldini as well, the Olympic Games silver medalist. Tuszynski from Slovakia, really on form today. Joy to watch. So, first elimination shot. Who's it going to be? Costa with a 9.9. So, Mikets needs a 10.5 to stay in. Oh, and it's a 9.3. Just hasn't been the right day for Damir Mikets. And perhaps all that driving in the motorhome to get here, who knows? But for the Serbian, it's not meant to be today. He's always very graceful though, Damir. He's so experienced. Waves to the crowd and just shakes his head at his older brother, that's Goran. And no medal for Serbia in this final. So here's how it stands. There's a 2.5 gap at the top. Some of the other differences narrow here and there. Thanks to Ingun, who's watching from Norway. We've got Rajit watching from India. A truly international audience for this one. This is all on the live chat, by the way, on YouTube, in case you're wondering.
And after this single shot, currently ranking 7th and facing elimination.
So next elimination coming up. João Costa in 7th place, representing Portugal. At 60 years old, having retired from the sport, has come back and made this final today. And could be leaving after this next shot. We'll just have to see how this unfolds.
For the next competition shot, load. Start.
So you just see the different styles as well of the pistol shooters. Some just raise it up to the target, some go above the target, then lower down. It all comes down to personal preference, because you have 50 seconds to take your shot and you can take as long as you like. You don't have to go within the first 20 seconds like most do. Oh! Well, it swung around. And João Costa has survived to the next stage of this final. Zeitmeister of Austria will be leaving this final in 7th place. So the 49-year-old takes a wave to the crowd. He'll take his seat and watch the rest of this final in front of a packed crowd here in Osijek.
For the next competition shot, load.
So João Costa of Portugal is still in this final. 1.5 behind, which is, I think, the same gap as what he just had a few moments ago. This is the beauty of shooting. You can be 60 years old and on the European stage in a final like this. How many other sports can give you that option? Solari with a real decent 10.5. There's still a gap of 4.4 at the top though.
And after this round of single shots, currently ranked 6th and facing elimination after the next single shot is Ole Harald Aas. And let's see how it is in the top 3. Tuszynski strongly
Now, for those of you who've been watching over the junior competitions and have joined us again today, you might be wondering where Kuna is, our mascot, our Marten. Marten is a native animal to Croatia. Tiny little things they are, but Kuna, our mascot's about 2 meters tall. It's just taking a break. I think she'll be back for the finals later when we switch to rifle. So Kosta with a 10.1 and Ors of Norway 10.7. And once again, this incredible 60-year-old pistol shooter almost switched it around there. But what a performance, and surely he's going to raise the roof here. 60 years old and finishes 6th. An amazing result in this European Championship final. He's represented his country at 5 Olympic Games: Sydney, Athens, Beijing, London and Rio. And shakes the hand of Pedro Fonseca, his coach. And João Costa takes his seat to watch the rest of this final unfold. We're down to the final 5. Shots in the 9 ring now. Pressure moments as we get closer to deciding the medals. So Tuszynski still at the top, a gap of 3.3. And again, he just deep breaths, just focusing on his breathing. Looking down as well, making sure his balance is correct.
For the next competition shot, load. Start.
So Maldini, the Olympic silver medalist, over 10 meters on the right of your screen. With a 9.8 for the Italian, 9.7 from Ors of Norway. And Ole Harald Ors of Norway will be leaving this final in 5th place. Finished on a total of 176.2. And big hugs from Matthias Hahn, the coach. And there's lots of the Norway team that have gathered here as well. Not just the pistol shooters, the rifle crew are here as well. So Maldini, the Paris Olympic Games silver medalist, in danger of elimination here. Oh, 9.5 for the Italian. Other shots coming in the 9 ring. I mean, that's to be expected at this stage of the final when the pressure starts to crank. So it's just that one shot below the 9s. The rest have all been 10s and 9s and hovering around that 10 marker. The face of the coach, Mauro Bararacci, just looking a bit concerned in the background. Maldini is 1.7 behind Solari. And a 9.6 from the Italian. And it's not going to be enough. He's going to leave in 4th place off the podium. Someone has to go. And the safety flag gets put into the pistol, and the Olympic silver medalist from the Paris Olympic Games leaves this European Championship in 4th place. That just shows you how tough the standard is here in Osijek in Croatia. Mauro Bararacci congratulates him anyway. Always nice to see. So we're down to the final 3. Switzerland have a medal, as do Czechia and Slovakia. A very impressive performance so far from Tuzinski. And can he keep that lead at the top?
Start.
I see Kuna has arrived, our mascot. I just think keeping ourselves quiet for the moment as we focus now on the medal stages. Breath control, so important. And it's been a masterclass from Tuzinski, a 10.7 at this stage of the final. Now notching up that lead to 4.1. Can the athlete from Slovakia be caught? Well, so far, it's looking unlikely, but you never know. Tuzinski himself, 40 years old. Again, just goes to prove it's not just a sport for the young. There you go, a bit of a nudge. You're on screen. You're going to give us a wave? No. Even after being nudged. Oh well. So who's going to go? Solari, big shake of the head with that 9.5. And Solari will therefore leave the final, but he's got a bronze medal. So although it's disappointing, I'm sure, for Jason, representing Switzerland, they have their first medal of the day, and it's bronze. And a big congratulations from Mauro Biascar, who's the coach. So Jason Solari finishes with a total of 217.4. Switzerland have their first medal of this European Championships, both across junior and senior. There's a gap here of 3.7. Well, that's a decent shot, 10.4. Tuzinski has replied with a 9.8, so the gap is reduced. And you just see deep breaths as well there from Juraj, just really feeling it here. He knows he's just got to hang on. There's that dodgy shot around shot 17, just around the nines. The rest of it, though, has been a really good display of how you compose yourself throughout a final from start to finish. So it's looking likely for Slovakia here. Bit pistol shooting, you never know. That 3.1 gap could turn around. It would take a bit of a disastrous shot. An 8.5, but it didn't matter because there's a 10 that's just come in. The difference at the top finished as 1.6, and I think relieved more than anything. I think the joy will come in a few moments' time, but for now it's relief on the face of Juraj Tuzinski of Slovakia. A great performance from the 40-year-old to get over the line and hang on to the gold medal, because it was his pretty much throughout the final. He led so well, finished on a total of 242.5. Meanwhile, for Pavel Šebal of Czechia, it's a silver medal, and he finished 1.6 behind the gold medalist, who's also now the European champion. So here we go with the official announcements. Jason Solari of Switzerland takes a bow. Cameras flash. It's a bronze medal for Switzerland.
The silver medalist representing Czechia, Pavel Šebal.
And Pavel Šebal of Czechia, with the flag being wafted around, and rightly so, a silver medalist. Well, Juraj Tuzinski, big smiles finally. I think now the joy and celebrations will kick in. What a performance from the 40-year-old. 242.5 was the winning total. He takes the gold medal and the title of European champion. There it is, confirmed. Switzerland with the bronze, Czechia with the silver, Slovakia take the gold medal. So let's have a look back at the final and down to that gold medal winning performance. Well, I think that has to be one of the best performances I've seen in terms of getting the lead and hanging on to it all the way right through. Now, of course, the lead at one point I think was 4.1 and it finished with a gap of 1.6. But nonetheless, Slovakia have a gold medal. There was that earlier gold medal for Tarhan of Turkey. A great day so far to come for you today. There's our schedule. 3:15 this afternoon, local time here in Croatia. We're switching to rifle, so don't miss that. Join us on Facebook or on YouTube. 3:15 local Croatian time for the air rifle mixed team. From myself, Rory McAllister, from all of you watching on Facebook and YouTube, and those of you on the live chat on YouTube, thank you so much. We'll see you later on this afternoon on day one of the European Championships for seniors across 10 metres. Cheerio for now.